All right, today we're looking at strictly better Magic the Gathering cards. We're going to start it off with a suggestion from user BBOK. Priest of Ancient Lore. For a white and 2 generic, we have a 2/1 creature. It's a dwarf cleric. When Priest of Ancient Lore enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card. But why can we have that when we can have it with flying? For a white and 2 generic, we have that same 2/1 creature. However, and it also enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card. However, we got the tacked added bonus of being an angel. What does that mean? It means the angel flies. How many angels don't fly out there? How many angels have no wings? Or wings that have been clipped? Or wings that don't work no more? Now, the funny thing is actually, the user actually was trying to make the argument that the angel is actually worse than the cleric because there's more blinking synergy, I guess, in a cleric deck, and the angel deck can't really make good use of this ETB. But anyway, actually they're both clerics, for crying out loud. One's a dwarf, one's an angel. That's about it. I think Inspiring Overseer is above and beyond easily the superior and strictly better Magic the Gathering card. Tommy Sutton says, Savannah Lions and every white 1-drop in Standard. Well, can you name one? We need something better. I can't work with every 1-drop. We need examples. And if you have 10 of them, then we'll go through all 10 of them today. Look what Soulfly says. Hello, Nikachu. FTK is better than Goblin Commando. I don't know FTK. What is FTK? Oh, Restoration. Oh, that's a good point. Restoration can't blink this angel. So you get no angel synergy, actually, with the Inspiring Overseer. But you can blink the dwarf over and over again. Interesting. Nice synergy. Flame Tongue. Oh, Flame Tongue Kavu, is it? Flame Tongue. I love my Flame Tongue Kavus. The 4 mana, shoot something down for 4 damage. I didn't even know most people even know this card exists. And you say it's better than Goblin Commando. Remember, these just let you all know the rules around here. When we mean strictly better, we mean it needs to have like the same casting cost. It can have the same casting cost, same power, and everything else can be different. I don't care. Or same casting cost, slightly better power, same stats. Like, I don't know, 2 things need to be the same. 2 things like, I don't know, in casting cost or power and toughness or you know, the stats on the card. Okay, so we have Goblin Commando for a red 4 generic. It's a 2/2 creature. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature. So it's basically the similar deal, but way more expensive. So this is way cheaper, bigger power, same toughness, more damage, less damage. So we pay more for less when we're working with the goblins, but when we're working with the Kavus, we're getting a deal. We get the discount and we get more for our money. You want value, you go with the Kavus. You don't be working with the stingy goblins out there. They're awful. Dryaded Militant is 1. All right, we're going to compare Savannah Lions. Lonely White 2/1. Oh my god. This came from beta. Oh, the good old days. This used to be a good card. They don't call it White Weenie for nothing. Savannah Lion was there at the beginning. And then we have Dryad Militant. What can this card do that the other one can't? This was literally a vanilla. I guess sometimes Savannah Lions will not get stonewalled by a card that has protection from multicolor, because Dryad Militant is technically multicolor. With the Selesnya colors, we can play a 2/1 that has, if an instant or sorcery card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. But who on earth would move back to Savannah Lions? We're not going back to Savannah Lions. We're moving ahead with the Dryad Militant. The Kavu looks friendlier. I don't know about that. It looks like a rabid giant rat, in my opinion. If we get close enough, can we get close enough to this thing? Too close. Too close. I wouldn't call it friendlier. Savannah Lions is worse than Recruitment Officer. All right, there we go. Now we're getting, okay, so we have our Savannah Lions and what, recruitment officer. Maybe we could make a whole show. 50 cards better than Savannah Lions. Wait, if I could look up advanced, 1 white mana, power and toughness 2-1, how much stuff comes up? We got the recruitment officer here. Reporting for duty, sir. We're recruiting people. Come here. You want 4 square meals a day and a shield and a sword? Does that sound cool to you? All right, step right up. We can help you out with that. For a white 2-1, we pay a white 3 generic as an activated ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You like that one, huh? Do you? Everything is better. Savannah Lions. Savannah Lions, who did you recruit? You recruited nothing. You're not even a leader of a pact. And you are so much... Can't believe you're a 2-1 creature. A squirrel can block you and kill you. Ah, those Savannah Lions. They must be domesticated. Free swords? Let's go to war, baby. I heard there's free swords around here. Yeah, who will resist a good deal? Okay, we got Zickler. I might as well call you Zicklerish. Okay, hey Nikachu, Vampire of the Dire Moon is strictly better than Farika's Chosen. Vampire of the Dire Moon. The 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch and Lifelink, and it's better than what? Farika. We'll look at one of them. Farika's Chosen. Who's Farika? Oh, the cousin of Vraska or something? Vraska is the snake queen around there. Farika's Chosen, a black for a 1/1 with Death Touch, but you got no lifelink and you're a snake. You're a little snake. We got the vampire here. Way more synergy over here. And you got lifelink. It's interesting. The snakes don't give life, only take it away. Recruitment officer is better than Vivian's Grizzly. So we're on Vivian's Grizzly. I didn't know Vivian had a Grizzly. These aren't even comparable. Recruitment arf. We just looked at this, right? You're trolling me here. You're trolling me. What a troll. This has nothing to do with recruitment officer. This is strictly worst card for sure. Farika's Chosen does have a pretty art though. Okay, strictly better art, but you know what? Art doesn't win tournaments. There's some people do have, you know, decks built on flavor. I remember when my friends played against an all green foil deck in a Grand Prix. It was like in round 2 of the tournament. You know, you could play against anything in those big tournaments, and someone pulled out the archetype mono green foils, all the green foils, and probably all foil forests to go with it too. It goes without saying that the foil green deck did not make the top 8, or probably did not make day 2 either. Okay, Lucian Divine. How about Banisher Priest versus Fiend Hunter? The Banisher Priest. Absolutely. Oh, it's okay. It can have different power and toughnesses. Look, the rules on this show are really loose. Like, if you guys are thinking too hard about strictly better cards, I don't know. Don't think that hard. Look, I'll make one of my own after this to show you how loose it can be, or maybe not too loose. Okay, we got Banisher Priest, a 2/2 for 3 mana. Enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Banisher Priest leaves the battlefield. And Fiend Hunter, slightly different cards, but you know, basically the same thing. It's a 1/3 creature. When enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. When Fiend Hunter leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So what are you trying to say? But Fiend Hunter has, yeah, Fiend Hunter is abusable, whereas Banisher Priest is not. So a little bit awkward, but I'll give it to you. Don't worry, we're very forgiving on this show. So Banisher Priest while it's targeting, if you kill the Banisher Priest, it will not exile the permanent, whereas Fiend Hunter is worded a little bit differently. It says, when it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. If you kill or blink Fiend Hunter or remove it from the game with the trigger on the stack, then the creature will still get exiled because the second half of it never got to resolve. I mean, like, let's say Fiend Hunter enters the battlefield, target your thing to exile it. In response, you kill my Fiend Hunter. Then all of a sudden, we get the trigger when Fiend Hunter leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control. But I haven't exiled anything yet. Okay, that part resolves, and then the whole exile your creature thing resolves, and it's gone for forever. I was thinking the other day, one of my favorite cards in the game is Thieving Magpie. And then I tried to update this card, or I tried to update like my childhood deck by today's standards, and I thought of replacing Thieving Magpie with Jace, the Mind Sculptor. They sort of do, like, Thieving Magpie is a 4-mana 1/3. When it deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. And it just dawned on me, like, Jace the Mind Sculptor is a strictly better Thieving Magpie. They both cost 4 mana, but it's like Jace the Mind Sculptor has haste, has complete unblockability, and you draw 3 cards instead of 1. Strictly better. Very strictly better. Very cheating, though. This is very cheating. We got Approaching Calamity here. Wash Away is strictly better. Cancel. Wash Away. Oh! You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do, remove the words in square brackets. Counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. Oh, this is a really nice one. So cancel is cancel. It's like the very old counter spell. We got blue 1 generic counter target spell. Now you could get that with cleave, counter target spell, or you could have it for just 1 mana, counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. Love it. This is a great one. Good old cancel. So many new cancels these days. Burning Paper Sun Migration Path is better than Explosive Vegetation. Okay, Explosive Vegetation. Is it going to give me explosive diarrhea if I eat this vegetation? It's green, 3 generic, sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And it's apparently worse than Migration Path. Oh, it's the same thing, but it cycles. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then you shuffle. Shuffle away. Valerio, hey Nikachu, Preordain is strictly better than Opt, even if they are both very playable. Preordain is sorcery, isn't it? Preordain. Yeah, this is sorcery. Opt is an instant. I'm gonna give this one the buzzer. I'm loose, but you know, it's gotta be at the same speed more, or a card. You said strictly better? It can, if it's the same thing but one's instant. I can't say like the slow one is strictly better. It just feels wrong. I know I said you can be very loose, but I'm the judge around here. The show works the way I want it to work. Oh! Witness Protection versus Frogify. Let's look at Frogify first. For a brew and 1 generic, we got an enchant creature, loses all abilities, and is a blue frog. Creature with base power, toughness 1/1. Someone need to kiss that frog, turn it into a prince, but then we have the Witness Protection. Finally! A blue aura that's actually seeing play. This is seeing some play in Pioneer. Actually, a lot of play in Pioneer. It's basically a pseudo 1 mana removal spell. Enchant creature, they lose all abilities, and is a green-white citizen creature with base power and toughness 1/1, named Legitimate Business Person. Very legitimate. Don't question the business that it's running. What is the point of this Witness Protection? Why would you be in business if you're under Witness Protection? I imagine you'd want some sort of stay-at-home job, out of the public. Were you conducting business while you're under Witness Protection? It's a bit weird. Yeah, this is strictly better Frogify. And a new one, too. That's a beautiful one. Love it. Oh, you heard that music. That is the sound of sponsors like FusionGamingOnline.com. My favorite sponsor, where I get all my Magic cards, Get my magic cards, my deck boxes, my sleeves. If I want to support myself, I buy from FusionGamingOnline.com. That means if you support Fusion Gaming, you're supporting Nikachu. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off all Ravnica City of Guild block singles. Dual lands! Shock lands. Don't forget, you get the shock lands with the very pretty art. You got that, what is it, Rob Alexander art? The Rob Alexander art! Nothing wrong with that art. That's great stuff. One of the best artists for, what's it called? Land. The Lord of the Land. And don't forget, you can use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get an additional 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Gets you that competitive edge. You're at the cutting edge of developments of any metagame. The metagame moves one way, you move with it when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using the most popular coupon code Nikachu_P9 to the S. Nikachu_P9 to the S. Alright, and now back to strictly better at Magic the Gathering cards. What else do you guys got? We've got Gray Armor. Anticipate versus Impulse. How are you going to anticipate me? Blue, 1 generic. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And we got Impulse. This is a strictly better. They just came out with this damn thing. Nothing wrong with Impulse. In fact, they reprinted this, didn't they? They put it right into... Oh, it's Dominaria Remastered. Dominaria United... Yeah, they reprinted this. Blue, 1 generic. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. A classic. A beautiful classic. Yeah, finally a blue aura that's seeing play. That thing. Frogify has way better art. I don't deny it. It's cute. I like it's hard to get cute art in this game. All the art is like... There's not a whole lot of it. I'll just say that. Okay, Consider is better than Opt. That's true. Well, I mean, it depends on the deck, but generally speaking, Consider is better than Opt. Because Opt... Oh my god, so many cards called OPT. The OPT! Scry 1, draw a card. Whereas with Consider, you sort of scry, but you can dump it into your graveyard. Do you need that graveyard synergy? I think every single time we do this show, everyone mentions Consider and Opt. Brad J with Rock of Care Ridges and Moonvale Regent. We're going deep here. Rock of Care Ridges. By the way, if I don't get to your card, suggest it again. Maybe I'll see it next time. Moonvale... what is it? Moonvale Regent? The hell is this? Okay, Rock of Care Ridges, reserve list card, by the way. Probably the most famous reserve list card that doesn't deserve to be a reserve list card. What were they even thinking at the time? Flying attached to red is broken. We can't let that happen. Even though if, like, for 1 more red mana, you got, like, Shivan Dragon, which does way more than the stupid Rock of Care Ridges. Anyway, we got a 3/3 flyer for 4 mana. And we got the Moonvale Regent. Just busted beyond belief. For the same amount of mana, we got a flying 4/4 dragon. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. Oh my god! If you do, draw a card for each of the spell's colors. When Moonvale Regent dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Whenever I just have to cast a spell, and it can discard my hand, and then I draw cards. It's like some sort of pseudo Wheel of Fortune. This thing's busted. Never heard of this thing until now. Okay, we got Chris Kager. Sarah's Ascendant is a strictly better Healer's Hawk. It's all chill with the vibes of the Healer Hawk versus Sarah Ascendant. What is it? Okay, Healer's Hawk. 1 white for a 1/1 flying and lifelink. Does this thing fly? Oops. I've entered Deutschland. Can I pronounce... Okay, hold on. Maybe I'll do this for all the Germans out there. Okay, we got Sarah's Ascendant. Libin Zvig Kup Fung. Solange doet 30. Lieben spookte. Oder mer hast. Irhart. Seras iscendant. +5 und flug feigkeit. I have no I hope I pronounced that just remotely okay. The Germans are just laughing themselves to death here. Okay, Sarah's Ascendant. Maybe that should be a show. I try to pronounce foreign languages of all the cards. Look, we got Russian. Well, I can't read these though. I would have to only do like French, Espanol, and German. Okay, Sarah's Ascendant, lifelink. As long as you have 30 or more life, Sarah's Ascendant gets +5/+5 and has flying. But it doesn't have flying normally. It doesn't actually have flying. What do you guys think? I'm gonna give it the buzzer because I can. We got Cordero with a beautiful $5. Do you have a card? Tolarian Winds though. What's Tolarian Winds compared to what? You discard your hand, then draw that many cards. Do we have a second card with this? It's strictly better Magic the Gathering cards. How was that? How was my pronunciation? German language is so lovely. Ragavan is greater than Goblin Patrol. Oops. The Goblin Patrol. Everything. Ragavan's better than everything at 1 mana. We got for a red a 2/1 with Echo. Oh my god. How far we've come. Ragavan. That's a comparison I haven't seen yet. The Monkey Pirate. Of course, there's like an entire textbook attached to this thing. Goblin Patrol. So, when did this see play? Urza's Saga? I guess there was some deck that probably spelled that. Or probably played that at the time. Take the sharp metal stick and make a lot of holes. That's what Ragavan's saying every single day. Chris Ross so desperately wants to get on this board. We got Shock. It's worse than Play with Fire. Alright, Shock. A classic. One of those poor man's budget deck. 1 red, deal 2 damage to any target. We got Play with Fire. Same thing, we gonna scry. Or do we scry? We scry 1. Hold on, no. If a player is dealt damage this way, scry 1. Still goes anywhere. Deal 2 damage to any target, even the Planeswalkers. Alright, we've got the sequel. Thank you so much, Cordero. Okay, we got Tolarian Winds versus the... It's greater... Oh! Greater than Moonveil Regent. Alright, you could discard a card and maybe draw cards, or you could just use Tolarian Winds and discard your hand and draw that many cards no matter what you discard. No conditions apply. Yeah, this deserves the buzzer too. But I really appreciate it. I like that. There was another super shot with Shock. Did I miss something? Oh, there was. Oh, Omik. You want the same credit? Oh, I'm so sorry for missing the $2 super chat, Omik. I really appreciate it. I'll give you the big sound effect. This comes up like every single time we do this show, the play with fire into Shock. Tommy is like, my janky homebrews versus meta decks. I didn't miss anything else, did I? Goblin versus Pup is even more Pup. You guys are talking about the Jackal Pup. Okay, Arcane Lighthouse is better than Detection Tower. Detection Tower. I don't even know what these cards are. Okay, so we add mana, and for 1 in a tap until end of turn, your opponents and creatures your opponents control with hexproof can be the targets of spells and abilities you control as though they didn't have hexproof. And so what's the deal? It's better than Arcane. This is worse than Arcane Lighthouse. Oops. This looks like the same thing. Okay, so pay 1. Until end of turn, creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. So this is the same. Oh, is it like the same? Until end of turn, your opponents and creatures your opponents control with Hexproof can be targeted. Oh, so this is... Okay, you lose Hexproof. Then they're like, Wizards is like, all right, we got to deal with Shroud as well. Shroud's an even bigger problem than Hexproof. F Shroud. Shroud. Do you know what? Honestly, I don't even think Shroud was a mistake. I think Hexproof was a mistake. I think it's very frustrating that one player can target their creatures, but you can't. BBOK. MTG break 95-12. Scathe Zombies into Vampire Nighthawk. Scathe Zombies. How are these even remotely the same? A 2/2 for 3 mana. Oh, yeah, okay. And we have Vampire Nighthawk. Yeah, okay. You know what? It's like for an extra black, I'll let it slide. So for a black 2 generic, why did they even print this card? It's terrible. It's worse than a Grizzly Bear. It's like strictly worse Grizzly Bear. Or Scathe Zombie. Yeah, Grizzly Bear is a strictly better Scathe Zombies. And we have Vampire Nighthawk for also 3 mana. It's a 2/3. So the toughness have evolved. And it flies. It's got Death Touch. It's got Lifelink. Who doesn't like Lifelink? Oh my goodness! I love this one. I don't think that's been mentioned ever before. Okay, so we have Phyrexian Arena. I like this one a lot. I don't know, in some situations, maybe Phyrexian Arena is better if you really need your graveyard. Black, 1 generic. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's slow. Too slow. We got Necro Potence. See, this is the imagination that I want to see. That's the imagination I'm talking about. Necropotence is a strictly better, because you skip your draw step, whatever. But you get to whenever you discard a card, exile a card from your graveyard. We don't care. You can pay a life, exile the top card of your library face down. You have control over the life that you lose. You put it to your hand at the next end step. Necro is always better, especially for 3 mana. Cabal Coffers is strictly better. Cabal Stronghold. Cabal Coffers. Cabal Stronghold. What is Cabal Stronghold? So it adds a generic mana, but you can pay 3, tap, add a black for each basic swamp you control. But Cabal Coffers is pay 2, tap, add a black for each swamp you control. So the ability is cheaper. Although this doesn't do squat. Cabal Coffers does absolutely nothing without the help of other lands. This thing at least can add a generic mana. You'll let me know in the comment section below if this qualifies. It's a little bit of a take. Some people might say that the Cabal Stronghold is strictly better. Adds mana on turn 1 and turn 2 and everything else. Oko is a strictly better Planeswalker. Alright, Snuffleupafish. I haven't seen you in a while, Snuffleupafish. How about Sarah Angel? Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we got Sarah Angel. Used to be a powerhouse in this game for a 4/4 Vigilance and Flying. And then we have Bane Slayer Angel. Does it have... Oh, but it doesn't have Vigilance. It is better. I mean, we know strategically it's strictly better. Whatever, we'll give it to it. I wish it had Vigilance as well, though. You know what? It basically has Vigilance because it's gaining life. So whatever, it doesn't need to block. Come at me, bro. Just come at me. Had today off. All right, welcome back. Okay, we have Andreas with Werewolf Pack Leader is greater than the Elvish Warrior. Elvish Warrior. Which I actually played a long time ago. We all played these cards a long time ago. Was Werewolf Pack Leader. How is this? This is a green 2/3. Oh yeah! And we got the Werewolf. I know what you're talking about. Werewolf Pack Leader. So we got a 3/3. Not no 2/3 around here for the same green. Oh, wait, there's more. Because we got Pack Tactics. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater, this combat, draw a card. Green, a 3 generic until end of turn. Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3. Gains trample and isn't a human. I didn't think you were a human in the first place. That's a great one. Man, how this game has evolved. This actually sees Pioneer play as well. Gustavo's Prismatic Vista is better than Terramorphic Expanse. You're not wrong. Prismatic Vista, far better than Terramorphic Expanse. Oops, I didn't spell that one right at all. What is this? You search your library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle? That's lame. This thing will just put onto the battlefield tapped, no shuffle. Slices and dices. It will do everything. Sol Ring is better than Mana Crypt. I don't know about that one. Mana Crypt. Because this costs 0 mana. Sol Ring actually costs mana. That's a debate. It's a bit of a debate around here, I think, in my opinion. Shadow Mage Infiltrator is... Oh, yes. True story. All right, we have Thieving Magpie. Okay, Thieving Magpie with flying. It's a 1/3 that whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. And then we have, what, you have Shadow Mage Infiltrator. What a waste. This was John Finkel's invitational card, and he did nothing with it. Like, I think it saw some standard play. Basically, you know, these types of cards aren't even playable in Cube. You need to play a, like, very, very low power format for this thing to see any very, very real play. But it's better than Thieving Magpie, we'll give it that. Way better than Thieving Magpie. It also deals damage when it deals... it also draws a card when it deals damage to a player. However, it can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. But it's cheaper also to get in play. We got Aiden with the super chat. Perilous Voyage. It's greater than Disperse. Perilous Voyage. Bon voyage! Disperse, a blue and 1 generic. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then for the exact same thing, return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand if its converted mana cost was 2 or less. You scry 2. You get a little bit of value in there. Sculpt the little top of your library. Get rid of that brain fog. That's how it works, right? Like the library... The library is supposed to be your library, but it's effectively like your brain or your memory. I think that's how that works. Finkel's version was probably nerfed. No, his original card was like white, white, blue, blue, Wrath of God, and you untap all your and you untap 4 lands. So like the Shadow Mage Infiltrator was already like a watered down version of like watered down card or watered down in power level to his first card. That's insane. Wants a free sweeper. Mono Black, Golgari, what is this? Jund, Dune. I don't know what this is in reference to. Tranquility is greater than Return to Nature. We are returning to nature. A green 1 generic. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or... So you have to choose one. The artifact, the enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. And it's... No, I think this is better than Tranquility, right? Or no, you want it... Hold on, what does Tranquility say? It's been so long. Destroy all enchantments. These aren't even comparable. They do 2 completely different things. This thing doesn't even touch artifacts or cards in the graveyard. Well, this is hot. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is better than Urborg. Alright, what else do we got here? I've never heard of this one. Yazoing says Hydroid Krasis. It's greater than the Nimbus Swimmer. Nimbus. There's the Nimbus Swimmer. Oh, you're saying this is better than Hydroid Krasis? So blue-green X, flying. When the Swimmer enters the battlefield... Sorry, the Swimmer enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. That is so lame and useless. And then we got the Hydroid Krasis here. This is the same thing. Blue-green X. Also blue-green. And it's Trample! This thing is super overpowered. Is trample and flying, and it draws cards. Hold on. As you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards round down each time. There's a battle with X +1/+1 counters on it. That card is absolutely busted. We have Cordio back with super chats. Demolition Field is... Oh, this is a new one. Field of Ruin. For the commander players, Field of Ruin. Unfortunately... So you can add it for a mana, or you pay 2 taps, sack it, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. But each player searches their library for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield. So you blow up one person's land in Commander, then all of a sudden, like, Bobby and Sarah's looking up lands too. Well, that's BS. That's why I got the Demolition Field, right? Is that what it's called? They fixed it. All right, so we still add the mana, but we can pay 2, tap, sack it. Destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. That land's control may search their library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. You may search your library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This makes me wonder, we should make a show, most annoying lands in Commander. Does Maze of Ith bother you? Does Gaia's Cradle get you down? Well, then you got the Demolition Field. That's what it's for. Broken and Simic? Oh, you're talking about the last one. Nikachu, sometimes I think you talk out of your ass. You're right. You're not wrong. Okay, Kite Sail is greater than the Cobbled Wings. I've never heard of this one. Cobbled. Thank you so much. DHDP King plays. Cobbled Wings versus Kite Sail. So pay 2, equip creature as flying, equip 1. There's a lot of Kite Sails. So for 2 mana, equip creature gets +1/+0 and has flying, equip 2. What is the difference? Equip creature as flying for 1 mana, or for 1 extra mana, it gets +1/+0. So which one do you think is better? Do you want the mana efficiency or do you want the power? You want the Kite Sail. You want that extra power. All right, well, you're paying for it. For 1 extra mana, you get that 1 extra power. Never saw that each player or thought in EDH. Well, you've been playing with Field of Ruin the entire time, thinking only the one player gets, or the targeted player gets a land? No, everyone gets it. Who just learned that? I thought that was a thing everyone knew already. That's the whole point of them making this new one. The Demolition Field. The EDH players complained, hey, we want a Field of Ruin that doesn't screw us over. We don't want to give free value away in EDH. So like now Field of Ruin has turned into like more of a group hug card. All right, what do we got here? What the hell is this? The Big Score, Unexpected Windfall, Pirate's Pillage. So let's start with Pirate's Pillage. A green 3 generic as an additional cost to cast this spell. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. But then we have the Unexpected Windfall. Unexpected. Anyone expecting any unexpected windfalls around here? For a red 2 generic as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, create 2 treasure tokens. Oh, is this the same thing? But this is strictly better because it's actually 1 red cheaper. Discard a card, draw 2 cards, draw 2 cards. Yeah, it's the same thing. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, we got Polarity. Mana Drain is greater than Counterspell. It is now. Can't go wrong. Counterspell, blue. Instant. Counter target spell. Sweet, simple, effective. But what about Mana Drain? Counter target spell at the beginning of your next main phase. Add an amount of colorless equal to that spell's mana value. You know what's hilarious? There was just a conversation on Twitter about like 2 mana counter spells in competitive EDH, and the looked like in the thread that they said no, these are just all unplayable. Just what is it called? Suspend? No, a delay. Delay was the only one up for debate, which I thought was crazy. So, like, this card is banned in Legacy. Banned! And it cannot, or it does not, or should not see playing competitive Commander. I don't know, I still have it in my deck. F it, I'm playing this thing. I don't care. I want that X. I've been waiting my entire life to play this card. I've never had a format to play it in. I finally have it. And you're telling me it's not good anymore? Well, it's better than Counterspell, damn it. So I'm playing it. Counterspell's a common. It can't be good. Is it really a common? I think I remember when they reprinted Mana Drain in the new frame. Yeah, me too. They could reprint it to oblivion. Okay, Spol Lighter says, Breath of Fire is worse than basically anything, but I'm going to say Surging Flame is strictly better. All right. Breath of Fire. Better than Surging Flame. What is Breath of Fire anyway? I've never heard of this card. For a red and 1 generic, deals 2 damage to target creature. Holy moly! That is pretty bad. Yeah, you could say Shock is better than this. Shock, Lightning Bolt. Just an outright bad card. Where is this from? This is from the global... So this is from some sort of global series. Jiang, Yangu, and Mu Yanling. This came from some sort of really cultivated dual deck of some sort. Okay, so what is it? We're going to choose Surging Flame as a card that is strictly better. I like this. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player, but it's got Ripple 4. When you play this spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal any revealed cards with the same name as this spell without paying their mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. All of a sudden, I would never think Surging Flame is good, but compared to the Breath of Fire, it's amazing. Magic the Gathering Online is better than Arena? Well, if you're trying to play Modern or Legacy or, I guess, some Commander variations. Freaky Fit with Gitaxian Probe versus Peak. Well, yeah, why would you want to pay 1 mana? Well, you can pay no mana. So for 1 mana instant, look at target player's hand. Now, this is not an instant, but it might as well be because you can just pay 2 life and look. Swords to Plowshares versus Path to Exile. That's boring. That's a boring Strictly Better card. So it is right, but too boring. I want some spicy Strictly Better cards. You gotta use your imagination, people. Isaiah says Mana Drain is very strong, but it plays mind tricks on the user, so they will only ever counter big spells, even if it isn't as good of a target to counter. You gotta go... Those small spells need countering too. They just do. Did we ever do this one before? The Deranged Hermit versus Deep Forest Hermit. What is the difference between the two? Okay, we have Deranged Hermit and Deep Forest Hermit. Just escape your way as a hermit. Alright, we have a 1/1. There's a battlefield with 4 green squirrelies. It's got Echo. Squirrels get +1/+1. There's a battlefield, create 4 squirrelies. Also a lord, but has Vanishing 3. So this could be permanent, but it's going to suck up a lot of mana. I like the Vanishing 3, personally. You got to sack it if you can't remove a Vanishing counter. Light 'em Up versus Grape Shot. What the hell is this? Light Up. Is this 2 mana, just deal 1 damage to a card? Red 1 generic, casualty 2. As you cast this spell, you may sack a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do copy of the spell, you may choose a new target for the copy. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player versus Grape Shot. I like this. This has some imagination. So at most, we are sacrificing a creature to deal 4 damage. That's the best we can do. But with Grape Shot, a little assistance from some other cards, we can deal, well, 20 damage. Who hasn't been Grape Shotted for 20 damage? More coffee, less miss... Oh, hold on. How many super chats are we missing here? Okay, I'll go back. Oh, yeah, John. Thank you so much, John. Nikachu, clone versus stunt double. We got our clone. We got our stunt double. Problem is, I don't get, sometimes I don't get a reminder or a notification if it's, less than $5. But you just let me know. You just warn me in chat. I'll go back. I got that power. The other ones I missed? I don't think so. I think we got everything else. Okay, what is clone? Blue 3 generic, just, you know, enter the battlefield. It's a copy of any creature on the battlefield. And then we got stunt double. So it has flash. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Well, this is actually strictly better clone. This is not even new. This has been around since, like, what's it called? The Mystery Booster days. This is from Conspiracy, Take the Crown. This is an old card. Surprise! Stunt double. Isn't Path to Exile versus Swords Plowshares more situational? And it's boring. Boring, strictly better card. Okay, Pedgeman, Hunted Witness versus Garrison Cat. I don't even know what this is. Okay, Hunted Witness. Versus a Garrison Cat? Okay, we have a 1/1. When it dies, get a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. When the cat dies, I don't like the sound of that. Create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. No lifelink, though. You get nothing. Stupid Garrison Cat. Why does this guy get a lifelink soldier? Tricks with the Carrion Feeder versus the Blood Foe. What we got here? Blood Flow Conor. Just go Con. They'll find it for me. Okay, for a black 2 generic, we got a 1/1. Sack a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on the Blood Flow Connoisseur. And then for a whoa, is it the same, basically the same thing? Sack a creature, put a counter on Blood Flow Connoisseur. It's basic. Okay, you can't block, but this is 1 mana. You can't go wrong. This is a big time discount. How could you? So this is a vampire. This is a zombie. I guess if you're desperate for a sack outlet in vampires, here it is. But I would highly consider playing the Carrion Feeder anyway. Memory Deluge versus Fact is better than... it's close. You know what? It depends. It really depends. Okay, so Fact or Fiction. There's actually a situation where Fact or Fiction is actually superior. So it depends a little bit on the type of deck that you play. Okay, so Fact or Fiction is a blue 3 generic. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. See, that's the difference here. If you're up against a deck that uses the graveyard, Fact or Fiction will make me wet myself. Make me wish I got invested in a case of Depends. Whereas with Memory Deluge, you look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast the spell. Put 2 of them into your hand, the rest of them on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you get the cards that you want, but if you're utilizing the graveyard, this is basically like instant speed draw 5, effectively. Because it, like, whatever you want, you can just put directly into the graveyard and make use of it anyway. This is probably an underrated card. But for most cases, Memory Deluge will be better, and it's got the flashback. For most cases. This is a little too different. One's blue, one's red. Not even in the same ballpark. Okay, what does Jesse have? Songs of the Dryad is greater than Imprisoned in the Moon. Imprisoned in the Moon. Right where Emrakul belongs. For a blue 2 generic. Enchant target permanent! Sorry, enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land with tap, add mana, and lose all other card types and abilities. What is this other one? Songs of the Dryad? Turns into a forest, right? I think it hits anything. So, is it Song of the Dryad? Song of the Dryad. I know what you're talking about. There we go. Song of the Dryads. Green 2 generic, so we get to hit anything. Enchanted permanent is a colorless forest land. So we don't hit only the land, planeswalkers, or creatures. We can hit the enchantments. We can hit the artifacts. Not in the same ballpark. It's not even the same effing sport. Chat spam is slightly allowed, so long as it's not too crazy. It actually sort of helps with the algorithm. Arbor Elf versus Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor versus Arbor Dryad. This is a creative one. I've never heard of this one. Hold on, is there such a thing as Arbor? Does Arbor Dryad exist? It's just putting this thing. Is this the same thing, Trio? Is it literally just the same card? Is there another Dryad? Hold on, Or maybe they meant Arbor Elf or something. Maybe they meant Arbor Elf. Chupacabra, Liliana's Crest versus Megrim. I think we've seen this one before. Megrim, Black 2 generic. Oops. I gotta wake up. Sorry about that. Why did I put that alarm on? Black 2 generic. Whenever an opponent discards a card, Megrim deals 2 damage to that player. It's a vicious circle. Stress bleeds pain. And we have Liliana's Caress. For a black 1 generic, whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. You got a discount here for 1 less mana. We actually looked at that one already today. That was a great one. The Witness Protection versus Frogify. Does Clone versus Spark double count? Clone versus Spark double. I don't remember what this is. Probably. You may have Spark double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional counter on it if it's a creature. If it enters the battlefield, sorry, if it enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. Sorry, it enters with an extra loyalty counter. And it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. That is a strictly better clone. That's actually literally a strictly better clone. It gets bigger, and you can clone planeswalkers. Pretty neat. Polarity with the super chat. Pithing Needle is greater than Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, first let's look up Phyrexian Revoker. Under most circumstances, yes, this is a 2/1 beater, but it's a creature, so it can die, and it costs 2 mana. Pithing Needle, however, is 1 mana. Can be found with Urza Saga. Enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Oh, actually, there is one advantage. You can hit mana abilities with this, right? Yeah, you can hit Soul Ring. Name Soul Ring, make your opponent cry. Now, so this one's a difficult one to judge. Well, Spark double only. Oh, it only hits your creatures. So there's a caveat here. Oh, whatever. The show is loose. You can fight me in the comment section. What else do we have? Ivory Tower versus Fasting. I'm losing. This show is losing credibility by the second with these incredibly loose, strictly better cards. Okay, so what is this one? Ivory Tower. I don't know what either of these do. Versus Fasting? From Dan. Oh, wait a minute, is that that looks like an Earthbound avatar. Huge appreciation. Okay, Ivory Tower, 1 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life, where X is the number of cards in your hand -4. So it's like the opposite of like the rack. Is that what I'm getting at here? And we have Fasting. Oh! You may choose to skip your draw phase. Well, I don't want to do that. If you do so, you gain 2 life over my dead body. If you draw a card for any reason, Fasting is destroyed. Everything's better than Fasting. During your upkeep, put a hunger counter on Fasting. When Fasting has 5 hunger counters on it, it is destroyed. This is the greatest useless amount of space that they've ever printed. It's 88 cents. Is it like, do people buy this because it's a meme or something? I'm not kidding you. It's 88 cents from the dark. Or like, I don't know, I guess people need this to complete their collection. But this is pretty bad. Draw a card is breaking the fast, I think, yeah. don't, a lot of calories in those cards. A lot of calories in those draw steps. Yeah, Ivory Tower is strictly better. Absolutely. I remember my dad bought Earthbound for me in the 90s. It was like 80 bucks at Walmart. Everything was 80 bucks at Walmart. Video games back then cost so much money. Does anyone remember? Like, if it wasn't a flagship title, it was like a good chunk of dough. It was weird. Like, bad games cost more than good games. David J with the super chat. I always go to Fervent Champion versus Raging Goblin. Raging Goblin, the classic. 1 red, 1/1 with haste. Oh, it's Shrek. Look, they're infringing on the... Shrek is Disney, right? Careful, Hasbro. Don't be tripping over Hasbro's turf over there. Raging Goblin versus, what is Fervent Champion? I used to have trouble with Raging Goblin when I first started playing the game. It's amazing how much this game has changed. So now, not only do I have a 1/1 with haste, it also has First Strike. When it attacks other knights, another target knight you control gets +1/+0. And equip abilities you activate. Target Fervent Champion costs 3 less to activate. Wing of Shu with the super chat. Does anything get power crept or do better than polymorphists? Does anything get power crept or do better than polymorphist jest? Polymorph. This jest. I know what this card is. It's like everything attacks turns into frogs, right? It's a blue 1. Until end of turn, each creature target player controls loses all abilities and becomes a blue frog with base power and toughness 1/1. I don't know what's better than this. I'm not too sure. Does anyone know a better? I don't know if there's a better polymorphous jest out there. I think that's it. There's nothing better than polymorphous jest. It's the best of the best. What is this? Zebra striped YouTube. Finale of Revelation versus Let's go to Finale of Revelation first. And then you have... Was it Igneous? Was this Ingenious? I think it's Ingenious. Is this really how it is? Igneous Mastery? Is it Ingenious? Oh, Ingenious. That's how you spell it. All right. Is this even the... Okay, Finale of Revelation. Blue X. Draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards. Untap up to 5 lands. And you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Then you have to exile this card. What's better than what? Then Ingenious Mastery. Looks like a stroke of genius of some sort. Blue 2 generic X. You may pay blue 2 generic rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Feels like I'm paying that anyway. If the blue 2 cost was paid, you draw 3 cards, then an opponent creates 2 treasure tokens, and they scry 2. If that cost wasn't paid, you draw X cards. You may pay blue 2 generic rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Oh, so you draw 3 cards. Oh, so you could just opt to just draw 3 cards out of nowhere, is what you're telling me. Is that what you're telling me? Because this is blue X. I don't know which one you're trying to say is better. Pretty different cards here. Okay, what's super chats? Okay, we can't end the show yet until we go through all the super chats. Alright, we got... Oh god, we have a lot of super chats. Alright, John with the control magic versus treachery. I guess technically, okay, this is 4 mana. Enchant creature, you control enchanted creature. Then we have Treachery, which under the right conditions is also you control enchant creature, but you get to untap up to 5 lands. So you could look at this one as a card that costs 0 mana. It's actually completely for free if it resolves. And the trigger resolves. And nothing bad happens. Approaching Calamity says, turn to Frog is better than Polymorphous Jest. But what if the opponent has a lot of creatures? Turn to frog only hits one creature. Trio with the super chat. I don't understand why we get giant growth in green, but instead of brute force, they give us infuriate in red. So hold on. Giant growth. But instead of brute force, they give us infuriate. Hold on. Brute force. Infuriate. Oh, so it's like a green thing is what you're telling me? So like here's giant growth, then they make a red one. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It's the same thing actually. I don't even know this card exists. Giant growth, one of the most iconic cards in all of Magic the Gathering. I mean, they'll have that in like every single like intro deck to the end of time. Brute force, never heard of it. It's one of those time shifted cards. And so what, we got an evolution here with infuriate. Oh, so we have a de-evolution. So infuriate is a strictly worse version of brute force. Just in case you need that red pump spell, just in case. And we've got Citizen Car. Thanks so much for the super chat. Wayfarer's Bauble versus Expedition Map. Wayfarers. Are these even going to be remotely the same card? So for 1 mana, we can pay 2 tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. And then Expedition Map. Slightly different, definitely more powerful. Search your library for a land card, but you got to put it into your hand. That's the difference. That's the difference here. This is actually ramp, technically. So you go turn 1 Wayfarer's Bauble, you ramp yourself up. This don't ramp, unless you're playing a deck that combos with the lands. All right, that's it. I hope I don't miss any super chats. I get everything? I think I got everything. Looks good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. If you want to be part of Coffee and MTG, we do this Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. The super chats, being a member, the comment section. I love everyone in the comment section giving their suggestions, and also, most importantly, all you guys that show up. You know, we have a great day every single day, and I can't do it without all of you. You guys are the show, so thank you so much for being a part of Coffee and MTG every morning. So as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all at the next cup.